Hi everyone, it's Kim with Vintage Vikings. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do another try at the Nailed It or Failed It junk journal style. I looked through some videos the other day and I thought we would try to do the hidden journaling pocket, hidden journaling space, secret spot. It's called different things, but the one I'm going to try to do is the one by Pam at the Paper Outpost. She did a fun one and she did a couple of different styles and it looked easy enough that I'm going to try to do it. I watched the video one time and I am going to try to reproduce at least the final product, maybe not exactly how she did it. And we'll let you guys decide, did I nail it or did I fail it? So I will link all of her information down below in the description so that you can all go take a look at her video, see how she did it, and then you can add in the comments below whether I nailed it or failed it. Okay, so I thought I don't have a lot of just pictures and a lot of like stiff pictures, and I didn't want to have to go through the fact of gluing and making them all nice and sturdy. So I thought, why not? Let's try to do it with some cards, just some note cards, some birthday cards, stuff like that. So, and I thought I was going to try to do one that's vertical, and I'll try to do one that's horizontal. And so I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I just grabbed a few things. It looks like it's a pretty simple project. And so we'll see how we did. Here's one that it's got some writing on it. So I thought maybe we could just use this one. I like the sunflowers. And maybe this could be the little journaling spot. Or I thought this one was kind of fun. I don't know why sunflowers are kind of the theme of the day, I guess. I pulled this one out thinking maybe that could be the pull-out part, or maybe this. So we'll see what we come up with. Or I thought these cherries would look cute cut in half, or maybe just a random with this. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Where should we start? Just got some extra sturdy paper. And she mentions that you want to use something that's a little more sturdy so that when you're opening and closing it, it doesn't bend and get out of shape. So I think let's start with one that doesn't have a specific picture on it. Let's just try this one. And this is just an index card. It was like a really bright pink index card, and I coffee dyed it. So we'll try this. Okay. Just got some glue, some scissors, my paper cutter. I'm going to use Fabrifix today just because it dries pretty quickly. And I'm going to try to use my really little teeny tiny one so that I can get close to the edge and it dries pretty quickly. Okay, so what she started with was just 2 pieces. So let's just cut this in half, which seems kind of, I wonder if we could do it without, let's just use this as the already glued so we're not gluing that side. Maybe we'll try that. I like doing videos where you're trying to think while you're doing it. Okay, and how she did it was she went ahead and glued it closed all the way. But why cut this and then re-glue it? Let's try that. Let's just glue. Oh, this Fabrifix one coming through a tiny little opening just doesn't really want to come out, but you don't need much. So I think that's gonna work. Make sure you get it all the way so it's nice and solid. Let's see if we do this. Alrighty. Okay. And then we'll put it down. I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning and stuff, so my arms are all bruised and beat up from hauling and carrying, and so I apologize that everything looks a little bit messy today. Okay, so here we go. Now this is nice and solid, and then what she does is she cuts it in half, and I don't think it matters where you cut it in half, but I think what I would like to do is cut it closer to the top so when you pull it out, there's more journaling room. I don't know if that's going to work, but let's try it. So we'll turn this around, and I'm just going to cut the top half. Okay, so then what you have left is two little pockets like this. So you've got this one. I don't want to open it too far because I don't think the glue is completely set, but you've got one like this, and then you've got the top. Like that. Okay. And then what she did was she found her piece that's supposed to be just a little bit smaller than the bottom, so that when it comes in and out, let's see how well it fits. Okay, so it's going to look something like that. That looks like it's going to fit, and I'm not going to have to do a lot of cutting. Let's try it. And again, be real careful. You can sew all the way around the edges. That wouldn't be a problem. I think that's going to work. Okay, so you can just sew around the edges, maybe on the bottom, or you can wait for the glue to dry, but this should be dry pretty soon. Okay, then what we do is you want to glue this part inside this. So let's make a little mark so we know how far down to glue it, but you don't want to glue too close to this. So I'm going to just pull it up just a little bit and just draw a little line, super light. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my bigger bottle just to get a little bit more on there, but you don't need a whole lot. I'm just going to do kind of a rectangle. Okay, there we go. Two. And I'm not really putting a lot of glue, and I'm using the tip to kind of spread it out as well without squeezing it, so that I get a nice little mix there. Wipe the goopy part off. I don't know about you, but this Fabrifix, it's either gooing all over or it's not wanting to come out. I guess it depends on the day. All right, so now we've got this top part with glue on it. And I'm just trying to separate this, and we're going to very carefully slide this, and you want to try to get this to be nice and centered inside so that when you put it back in, the card lines up nice. I'm going to push it as much as I can to the top, make sure there's no extra glue. And I only glued the front because I don't think we need, I mean, you could put glue in the back, I guess. But let's just try this. Okay, now here's the test to see if it works. And again, this is the first try. We'll see if we did it. This is just to get the concept down. Looks so much easier that she just slid it right in. What is it sticking on? Shouldn't be sticking on the glue. Is it too long? Maybe it's too long from where I glued it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just pop off this little bit on the bottom. Let's see if that matters. I cut off like just not even a 1/16 of an inch. Maybe there's too much glue down here and the glue was too thick and it wouldn't let the paper go. Let's see if this works better. Oh, that worked much better. Oh, look at that. So there you go. So there is the simple version of the hidden pocket, hidden journaling space. And you could clip that in. I guess you could glue this bottom part in, and now you've got a little hidden space. Maybe we could put some stickers and split them in half, some words. But Okay, so that's the first try at the basic one. Okay, so now let's try one that actually has the picture on it. Let's try this one with the cherries. Alrighty, I'm not so sure I like the border on this, so see, I don't know if when you split it, if it's going to look so great with the white part around the outside. Maybe we'll do this sunflower. Alrighty. Because, and then if I use this one, let's try, I'm going to try the cherries. All right, what we're going to do though is I'm going to cut it apart. Nothing like creating online, correct? Right when everyone's watching. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the white border because I don't think I like that very much. I think trying to get the cherries in the bowl to line up is going to be hard enough, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the white lines to line up as well. Let's see here. And these first couple of nailed it or failed it, I am doing are a little on the simpler side, but I want to try to keep very true to the watching it one time and then trying to do it on my own. Okay, and since this card had this back on it, we don't want that, I just flipped it around, and I think that looks pretty good. So then what we're going to do is we want to go ahead and put glue all the way around all four corners. But I think that little glue is just too much. It's just very hard to squeeze, and we don't have hours to be here doing this, to be just gluing. So it's a great way to use up some of your cards. And I think you can use pretty much any picture, magazine picture. You just have to make sure it's nice and stiff. And remember, you only want to glue as close as you can glue to the edges, which I'm making a little bit of a mess because my glue bottle is just gluing everywhere. It's just a mess. Okay. All right, I usually try to keep a pin in it. Alrighty. And I don't think it matters if it's right side up or upside down, and so you're going to want to get right to the edge. Alright, I didn't get too much glue because there's no glue gluing along the outside, and you can go and ink the outside so it looks a little bit nicer, maybe round the corners a bit, but again, I'm just trying to get this technique down and make sure that I'm actually able to just do the project itself. Then we can get fancy. And there's a little bit of that white was showing, so my paper cutter, which is on its way out, and I just can't find anything to replace it with because so far I've had to send back 3 of them because I didn't like how they worked. So, okay, so now we have this. The edges are nice and glued. And let's see here. Let's cut it right along the chair. It's a little bit rounded, so it's not going to be exact, but I think close enough. I think that'll be cute. We'll cut that in half. So then we've got a top and a bottom. And the other one I did it so it was a little longer when you pulled it out. Well, this way, I think it's going to be just a little bit stubby on the bottom. You know what? Let's do it opposite. I'm going to glue the paper into here instead. Let's try that. Again, it's all about learning, all about figuring it out. This is a little piece of watercolor paper that I had a scrap of. I think that's going to be good, but it is a little on the wide side. So let's just nip off the side here. Oh, I think about that much. Nice thing about junk journaling and paper arts is nothing ever has to be perfect. So let's see if this is going to slide nicely in here. have to get a little closer so I can see where it splits. Okay, and I think it's still a bit on the wide side. Looked like it was going to be okay, but I must have went a little bit crazy with the glue. And again, you can ink around all of this. You can put some stickers on the inside. You could stencil this paper so it's nice and fancy. But right now I'm just trying to see if I can get the basic project done. It's hard to see that split. There we go. All right, let's see how well it works. Okay. Still feels a little on the tight side, but it doesn't look like it's tight. Okay, let's just try it first. It's a little crooked. Okay, boy, I'm struggling with this. Okay, that looks pretty straight. Now, alrighty. And again, this one's going to come in from the bottom, and see why you need it to be. I think it's just a little bit too thick. Or too wide, I mean, not too thick. Okay, so let's try it again. There we go. Now it looks like it's really skinny, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be hidden until you open it to do your journaling on it. So there we go, I think. And I think once you open it and close it a few times, it might... All right, so I think it might be a little too long. Let's see. And I'm not going to take it out of here to nip a little bit off the top. I'm going to, since we've got it in there, I'm going to just leave it in there and try to line it up and make it as straight as possible, because I'm not sure if it's actually straight in this bottom. So I think maybe now this should work. That looks like it's better. Okay, and so much for this being the simple project that I thought it was going to be. I guess it's simple, it's just not as easy as I thought it was going to go. And see why you want this middle piece to be more sturdy? All right, that's barely wanting to go, so I think it wants me to cut just a teeny little bit more off the top. And you don't want it to be too much, because then I guess you're not going to lose out on that much journaling space, but kind of want to make it fit. Okay, this should be perfect. All right, there you go. And now it just looks like a picture, and then when you open it, you've got your hidden pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll do the same thing here. We'll mark it. And I think maybe we'll glue both sides, because I think that's how Pam from the Paper Outpost did it, as she glued both sides. Let me just get rid of this big glop of glue here that's on where it just comes whooshing out. All right, and so then what we're going to do is we're going to just very carefully just shake it a few times here. See, it's either gushing out all over the place or it is, and you don't need a lot. Okay, and then let's get this side. And I'm not going exactly right up to the end just because it'll smoosh out once we lay it flat. Okay, now with this, I want to really open this up so that it's so that you're not dragging the glue all the way through it as much as you, oh, well, that didn't go as planned. All right, but it didn't look like I got too much glue on the outside, so I think we're okay. And I think we're pretty centered on both sides. Let's lay it down and give it a little smooch. Okay, so then what you can do if you wanted to is go back and stencil. You could put a little sticker. If you have like some cherry stickers, those would be cute in here. Round the corners off a little. Alrighty. You could ink the edges if you wanted. I just don't think I would do anything like don't punch things out, because I think that would break down the integrity of the paper. There we go. And then you really need the stiffness of the paper to get it to slide. Okay, you saw that it worked before. Now why does it... I wonder if I didn't push the... I don't think I pushed this far enough in, and now it's too late. So, yep, that was what I did. I did not push the paper far enough into the bottom. So here we go again. Nice learning curve here. We'll just have to take a little bit more off the top. And I'm never about measuring. I'm always about just eyeballing it. It's a nice place to be where nothing has to be perfect. All right, let's try this again. I think the most difficult part of this, or the most tedious part, is separating the tops and bottoms. There we go. So make sure when you're doing this, you stick that card all the way in the bottom. What do you think? That's not so bad. All right. So the last one that I thought we could try, because those seem like they turned out pretty good, is what if we try one? Where's the other one? Okay, we'll put these here so you can see them. I know it's a mess in here. I was doing some sewing on the edges of some papers earlier, and then I thought, well, I'll just film right from here. Let's do, should we do this one? I'd like to do a sideways one. I want to try to see if a sideways one will work. Do we want to do those flowers, or do we want to do these flowers? Maybe let's try... But if we do a sideways pull, it doesn't matter because it'll still be... Yeah, I think this one is going to be better if I can cut it here and do a top pull. I don't think this one will look as cute to do a side pull. So let's do these. And we'll say goodbye to Glenn and Peggy. I don't even know where this card came from. And I don't know if do you think we should maybe take the white border off? I think maybe we should try that. I don't know. I just think that white border is going to get a little pesky when we're trying to line everything up. So we'll just pop it off. But I'm going to leave... Oh, and I can't... All right, and that means I cannot leave that one already glued, so we'll glue it all the way around. I'm always trying to find ways to make things just a little bit easier, and if you can leave one part of it already undone, or already done, that you don't have to re-glue, that's always saves a little bit of time. And I'm double cutting these, so I'm trying to cut these together so that they're as close to the same size, and then you don't have to do any measuring, because with my eyes, my old eyes, that sometimes measuring is not always as easy as it once was. All right. Okay, as you can see, my paper trimmer is struggling. Okay, So now we've got the front and the back. All right, so I'm getting all covered. My fingers are all covered in glue. Okay. Let's see if this guy's acting up again. Let's wipe him off. Okay. So we will go ahead and I'm going to want to try to be really careful with this one because it's not a very big card. Oh, but wait a minute. If we're going to... No, we still need to do it that way. Always second guessing myself. One of these days, and maybe even today, we're going to get a failed it, which is completely okay because the only way you learn and the only way you progress is if you fail sometimes, or at least have the courage to fail. All right, I got a little bit too much. I'm going to wipe off a little bit of that. Okay. Oh, glue, glue, glue. And we're going to then put these on top of each other and give her a little smash. And it looks like I didn't quite get it centered because it looks like you can see the writing just a wee bit on this side. And it looks like this one's got some smudging on the back. So what I probably will do with this is I'll find a little sticker or I'll put something on the back here to hide that so it doesn't look so grungy back there. Okay. And now we're going to split it this way. And I think for this one, which do you think? We've got brown, we got yellow, and we've got brown. I don't think this brown matches all that great. So I think maybe this yellow one will be the trick. So we'll just make it so that it is, I'm going to make a little guess here. I think it will work if we go about that wide. And then we're going to cut that off. Maybe there. Let's see how this works. All right. Okay. So let's give this little paper cutter some work again. Line that up. Looks good. Pop off this little bit on the top. Perfect. Throw those in the scrap pile. Okay. And I'm just going to try to maybe, let's see, I don't know. I think that I might cut off a little bit extra on the sides just so we don't get involved in the glue on the edge. Try that. And this paper does not, it felt a little thicker until I started cutting it, and now it's feeling a little bit flimsy, but let's see if it works. Alrighty. Okay. And then I think we're just gonna maybe cut this one. If I'm gonna pull it off, maybe we'll cut those flowers off. What do you think? We'll just, you don't want to cut it right in half because then there's not a lot of space. Yeah, I think that'll be cute. Okay, we'll see. All right, guys, here we go. And I think I'm going to try to put it in the big side first just to make sure it's fitting because that's the fussy part. Yeah, see, that's feeling a little snug still. And I didn't think I went that crazy with the glue. Okay. And while we do this, if you get a chance, it would be fantastic if you could like this video for me and subscribe so that it will help the algorithm of this channel so that it will show up to more people and we can get more ideas going for the channel. Okay, I think we've got it. So it seems like it slides right in there. And okay, you can still see the words inside, but once we put the glue on there, you won't even see it. Okay, yep, and it seems to fit in there okay. Let me see. And I have to remember to slide it all the way down. But again, this paper is less than, it's not quite as thin as regular copy paper, but it definitely is not as thick as the index card or the other cardstock I was using. Alrighty. And I'm having to keep going off camera to brace it against my body to try to get it open. Okay, let's see here. Nope. I must not have it. And that's as far in as it's going to let me go. This is a whole lot of trial and error, even though it looked like I cut it plenty small to fit in there. And I'm not going to put this away. I'm going to be smart about this here. Let's see. Let's just measure real quick. Okay, that has to go in there now. That just has to fit. If it doesn't, boy, I've really done something wrong. Okay, let's try to get that in there. Perfect. Okay, let's see. Nope. I wonder if it's just not, I just don't think this paper is thick enough to allow me to do this very easily. So we might have to switch, because I think that's going to be, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think we should switch it? It's not meeting up completely. And look at how, yeah, I don't think I like that at all. All right, little yellow paper. Let's come out. Yeah, this is just, I think, way too thin. I think I'm going to try something. This is a little thicker. I think this will be better, maybe. I think that's as thick as it gets without it getting to be so thick. And it might be because there's not a lot of room in there. So I'm going to be smart about this, and we're going to go ahead and just measure and cut based on this instead of trying to guess. Yeah, I think this one definitely needs some more something on it, like some decoration or something more than just that pattern. Maybe some words, a little quote or something on there would be pretty, but the more that it's staring at me in the face, it looks just like it's saying it needs something. But I guess if you're going to clip it into a journal with with maybe a paper clip or something, a hidden paper clip, that might be okay. Alrighty, and now, let's see, now this paper looks a little more pink than it did before. Let's try this again, and we're going to, got to squeeze it to see which end is open. There we go. And again, make sure I remember to push it as far down as I can. I mean, the glue should be dry by now. Looks like it's stretched out a little bit. And you don't want to stretch it too much, because then when you get it all together, you're going to definitely see the line. Okay, this one just is not cooperating. There we go. Okay. There we go. And now that is number 3. I will hold it really tight here. And now I think I'm going to try something, and this might just go very, very badly. But I might get it in there just the way we need it. And what if, instead of pulling it back out, what if I stick the glue? That's not going to work. I think that's going to make even a bigger mess. Okay. And with this one, I need to remember that it only goes in that far. So just do glue there. there. And then we draw a little line on this side to match that one there. And there. And we'll I really like to just get the glue to spread out and start drying. So I wiggle the tip on there so that it starts to dry instead of just letting a bead down. I just found that when you leave it all thick and gooey like that, that's when it seems to run and get everywhere. But if you can kind of scrape it along using the tip, and again, that's probably why my tip is always gross. And I think we all have our own tricks. Okay, let's see here for number 3 on this one. And then if you guys will go take a look at Pam at the Paper Outpost, you can see how she did it and how flawless hers turned out. And then come back and let me know if I nailed it or I failed it. Or you probably can tell already if I nailed it or failed it just by watching. But it's always nice to go and look at the original video and to see where the inspiration comes from and to see how close it is. And again, like I said, I watched the video one time all the way through. Well, until the project is finished. Alrighty. And then I gather the supplies when I'm ready to do the video and I go for it. Let's see here if I, fingers crossed. Did it work? Let's, come on. Boy, this one is futsy, futsy, futsy. Well, I think that's as close as it's going to go. I must not have. All right, we're going to nip off. Just, it doesn't look like that it's that much longer, but I guess I must have glue or something that it doesn't want to go all the way in flat and flush. It seems like it's catching, there we go. It seems like it's catching somewhere right around there. Alrighty. So there we go. And there is number 3, a side one. And again, I will probably decorate the backs of these when I put them in a journal. But there you go. So what do you think? Did I nail it or did I fail it? With the 3 secret pockets. And I think the key is letting the glue dry, because this one seems like it's going a little bit better. And you could probably even put, if you want to get fancy, put the little closure on here with the twine and wrap it around so you have to open it before you can. So it almost looks like an envelope, but instead it's a little secret pocket journaling space. Let's see. There we go. Okay, well, what do you think? Did I nail it or did I fail it? Thanks for stopping by and taking a look at this today's video, and I hope to see you back soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like these videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.